स्पिक मके अनुभव श्रृंखला की इस अंतिम कड़ी में आप सभी का स्वागत है। बहुत ही अद्भुत संयोग है कि भरतनाट्यम वार्तालाप श्रृंखला की शुरुआत पद्म भूषण डॉक्टर सरोजा वैद्यनाथन जी के द्वारा हुई थी और आज समापन में उनकी पुत्र वधू विदुषी रमा वैद्यनाथन जी हमारे साथ हैं। रमा जी नमस्कार, हमारे कार्यक्रम में आपका स्वागत है। अब मैं स्पिक मके वॉलंटियर शुभम से अनुरोध करूंगी कि कलाकार का परिचय कराएं और इस वार्तालाप को आगे बढ़ाएं। शुभम।
Vidushi Rama Vaidyanathan ji is one of the foremost Bharatanatyam dancers of her generation. She trained intensively under the legendary dancer Yamana Krishnamurti ji and the celebrated guru Saroja Vaidyanathan ji. In a performance career spanning more than 30 years, Vidushi Rama ji has developed her own individual style without forsaking the core principles of her dance form. Her technique is grounded, and yet there is a fresh approach to the innumerable dance composition that she has added to the Bharatanatyam repertoire. She has performed at many dance venues in India and abroad. She is the recipient of Sangeet Natak Akademi Puraskar for the year 2017 and other prestigious awards such as Kalai Mamani, Kalashri, Kumar Gandharva Puraskar, Nadana Mamani, Vani Kala Sudhakara, Nitya Chudamani. As the director of Ganesha Natyalaya, New Delhi, she has been actively engaged in teaching for more than 25 years. Vidushi Ramaji balances a hectic performance schedule while conducting workshops and master classes all over the world, inspiring a whole generation of dancers. We welcome you, ma'am, and I request you to please start the interaction.
Namaskar. Thank you. I'm excited here, and I thank SPIC for giving me this opportunity to be able to share my thoughts all over. Before me, my gurus and all the senior legendary artists of Bharatanatyam have spoken extensively on Bharatanatyam, and we all have gained a huge deal from their words of wisdom. And therefore, I don't want to repeat what all they spoke, because I think what they spoke was something which was so beautiful and so full of knowledge. I thought I will take up another aspect of it. Why is it important to keep a tradition alive? And how do we make it relevant for today in the 21st century? Because we have to understand that we are practicing a dance form that is traditional, that is age-old, that has been coming down the centuries. But we are now here in the contemporary world. We are here in the 21st century. And obviously, till now, this tradition has been kept alive. But what is our responsibility to keep it alive further? And what is our responsibility to make it relevant for today? I see this as a river which has been flowing, and this river has the essence of the aesthetics and the knowledge and the artistic inputs that has been put by all the legendary gurus and practitioners of this dance form. And this river has come down for us because they contributed to the river. And now this flowing river has to continue to flow. We cannot stop it. So we have to keep it alive and we have to preserve it. Now, when we say we have to preserve it, it does not mean that we have to preserve it and keep it in a museum. No, we have to preserve it. We have to oil it. It has to be like an oiled machine that has to continuously move, and it has to pulsate, it has to breathe, it has to move. And it is so important to preserve it, as we all know. They say that let's save the tiger. And Dr. Kiran Seth, the founder of SPIC MACAY, says, yes, let's save the tiger, but let's save the sarangi too. So it is important to save and preserve every part of our cultural heritage. And once I understand that, I know that this is something which has been bequeathed to me as a very beautiful treasure. And I have to keep it alive because tradition has to move constantly. And the responsibility of keeping this tradition alive is not only with the practitioners, with our gurus, practitioners, students. No. The responsibility lies with several people. For example, the responsibility lies with organizations like SPIC MACAY that are engaged in the propagation of the arts, that bring the artist to the youth, and then the youth are turned into beautiful rasikas or appreciators of art. The responsibility lies on the government to support artistic ventures, to support artistic organizations, dancers, musicians. The responsibility lies on corporate houses to fund and be a patron to the arts. The responsibility also is on journalists so that they write on whether it is electronic media or social media, so that they write about art in a way that it is propagated, in a way that the next generation gets attracted to it. Journalists have a huge responsibility. The responsibility lies on rasikas, on people who watch, people who can understand what is good art and what is beautiful art, and people who can take out time, energy, money, expend a little bit of money to come and watch dance. So as I said, responsibility lies on musicians. Music is a key part of dance. Musicians, light technicians, sound technicians, theater managers, costume designers, makeup artists. There is a huge number of people who are involved in keeping the tradition of dance alive. But I will concentrate today on what is my responsibility as a practitioner to firstly keep this tradition alive and also to make it relevant for today. My foremost responsibility is that I have to be honest to the dance form that I have learned from my guru. I have to practice it with authenticity. I have to practice it with an integrity and a seriousness, knowing that this is a traditional art form which has been bequeathed to me, and it is my responsibility to preserve it and to maintain its core principles. That is my foremost responsibility. My second responsibility is that I have to impart it before I go away from this world. Whatever I have learned, it's very important that I share it with the next generation. Because I always say that this body will go away, but the dance will always remain. The dance is so much bigger than the dancer. The art is so much bigger than the artist. So right now, this body is a medium for exploring, showcasing the art of Bharatanatyam. And while this body is a medium, I have to make full utility of it. So I have to impart it to the next generation. I have to add value to this river that is flowing. I have to add my few little drops, my drops of water. I need to add to the river. How do I do that? By having my own individual interpretations, by exploring my dance form, which is individual to me, which is personal to me. Of course, which is within the framework of the Bharatanatyam core principle grammar, and also which is beautiful and aesthetic and also shows Bharatanatyam in good light. So it is important that I also make my humble offering into this river. Because I have to keep this river flowing, I can jump into the river and I can get a lot of others also to jump into this river. But I also have to add value to the river. And I also need to make it relevant for today. I thought the best way to explain these small responsibilities that I have would be through a few dance movements. So for example, how do I make dance relevant for today? Being a dancer, I have to be very concerned about everything that is around me. I have to be alert. I have to anything that is beautiful and aesthetic, I have to get attracted to it. Anything that can add value to my dance, I have to go for it. Now, we are at a time when there is a lot of talk about equality of man, about racism, about how everybody is not treated equally in this world. Now, in Bharatanatyam, we explore a plethora of sahitya, of literature, that explores literally every problem and every emotion of this world. Now, there is this poet called Gopalakrishna Bharati, and he was Shiva Bhakt. He was a Shaivite saint of the 19th century, and he wrote this song about this man called Nandana, who was actually supposed to be of a lower caste, and he was not allowed entry into the Chidambaram temple. So Gopalakrishna Bharati wrote this beautiful song about Nandana, who is waiting, standing outside the temple of Chidambaram, wanting to go in. And he looks at the Lord and he says, "Please, can I come in? Vargalamo ayya, please, can I come in? Can I please come into your temple?" So to make anything relevant, we really don't have to directly do or explore anything that is happening around us. I think I can perform something from the traditional repertoire and look at its relevance for today. Perceive it in a way that comes from today's mind, from today in the 21st century. But what I do is that poem written at that century in Tamil, where this man, where Anandanath is standing in front of the Chidambaram temple. Vargalamu ayya, Vargalamu ayya, naan Vargalamu ayya, naan Vargalamu ayya, naan Vargalamu ayya. Coming back to the point where I said we need to add value, and use our own intelligence, our own acumen to look at literature. I will take this very beautiful Padavali written by Sant Mirabai. As you all know, she was a saint in Rajasthan in the 16th century. And she was a devotee of Lord Krishna, and she was in love with him. And she wrote a lot of poetry on him. This beautiful Padavali is where she says, Jhuk aire badariya savan ki. Jhuk aire badariya savan ki means the clouds are looming down at me. Savan ki, the clouds of monsoon. The dark clouds are looming over me. Now we know Krishna had the color of the dark clouds, and she would often call him Shyam, and she would often use this metaphor of describing Krishna because he was the color of the dark clouds. So when I go into the mind of the poet, I understand that when she says, Juk aire badariya savan ki, is not only about clouds, but it is also about she thinking that it is Krishna. It is as though Krishna has come. So she's using the clouds as an allegory to explain her yearning for Krishna to come to her. So I should not just look at the Sahitya just the way it is. Juk aire badariya savan ki, and only show the clouds. No, I have to go deep into it. It is my responsibility to go deep into it and to add value to that literature. So, Juk aire badariya savan ki, 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 juk aire badariya savan ki. When we look at literature, we humanize our gods. I think it is very important to humanize them because the God, as you say in Indian philosophy, is not somebody who is sitting in heaven. It is an energy, it is a consciousness, it is an awareness that is within you. And anything which is within you has a very close relationship with you. So in the literature that we explore, in the Abhinay that we explore in Bharatanatyam, we look at God as master and servant, as two friends, as lovers as mother and child different relationships, and we humanize them in the sense we make fun of them, we taunt them, we play with them, we get angry at them, we are sarcastic with them. So we explore this plethora of expressions to explore Sahitya. I'll give you one example. Again, it is this Tamil composition by this poet called Papanasha Mudalayar. And he wrote this poem about the devotee who comes in the Tiruvarur temple of Tyagaraja in Tamil Nadu. And he comes there and he stands in front of one of the deities, not the main deity of Tyagaraja, but one of the deities of Tyagaraja, where only the face of the idol can be seen. And it is said that the rest of the body is submerged in mud. So you can actually see only the face. So the poet says, why are you showing me only your face and not the rest of your body? What is the secret that you want to have? What is the and not the rest of your body? So can you imagine? In dance, we have this liberty to talk one-to-one with the God and treat him like somebody I would talk to who is in front of me. Like somebody who comes in front of you and then you talk to him. Why are you not doing this? What is it? Something wrong with you, huh? Like the way you would tell your friend. That is the way we talk to gods. So, Mukhatai Kati, you're showing me your face. Deham, body. Murumayam Katamal, the whole body you are not showing me. Mood Mandiram. What is the tantric secret? What is the mystery? Mandiram. Yedaya. What is it? Tell me. Tell me, what is it? Mukhatai Katiya Deham Murumayam Katamal Mude Mandiram Yedaya Mukhatai Katiya Deham Murumayam Katamal Mude Mandiram Yedaya. Are you afraid that I will get scared of the snakes that you have adorned all over your body? Mukhatai Katiya Deham Murumayam Katamal Mude Mandiram Yedaya. Or are you afraid that I will get attracted to that beautiful tiger skin that you're wearing it and I will remove it away from you? Mukhatai Katiya Deham Murumayam Katamal Mude Mandiram Yedaya. முகத்தை காட்டிய தேவம் முழுமாயம் காட்டாமல் இது மந்திரம் ஏதையா. Now that I have received such a beautiful gem from my gurus, it is important that I use it as a tool in my life journey. Along with being a dancer, I should also become a seeker. Seeker of truth, seeker of inner awareness, seeker of an awakening, seeker of aligning my body, mind and soul into an equanimity. So it is important that I use this dance not only for, it is not just entertainment as the gurus would have told you. It is something that is a sadhana that, like I said, helps us to connect with us, and when I connect with myself, I actually connect with the world. And in today's times, it is so important to connect with the world because we cannot be insular. We are part of this whole universe. And in this pandemic time, we have seen that one small problem has befallen every single human being of every kind of color, every kind of religion, every kind of nationality who speaks any kind of language. And friends, it is dance that helps us to connect with our we are part of the world. I think I can end my talk here and let us look at questions.
Okay. Ati Sundar, I'm sure the audience is going to take back a lot of valuable learning. Let me start with your struggles first, which will give a lot of encouragement to our youngsters. In the middle of your dancing career, you had a knee problem. You tore your ligament and had to undergo surgery. How was your struggle with this difficulty, and how did you manage to overcome it to become one of our topmost dancers?
So, like I said, it is important to look at the silver lining in every cloud. And when I tore my ligament, I had to go through surgery. I tore it while dancing. I had to go through a surgery and I had to go through a sort of intense physiotherapy. And I was so strong on my physiotherapy that my knees actually became stronger than they were before. And the silver lining in the cloud was that when I learned Bharatanatyam, when I went to learn at the age of 6, and that time when my guru taught me the movement dynamics of it. Because at that age, you don't know much, so you just learn it. But when I was a grown individual in my 30s, I had to relearn all those adavus, not mentally, but physically. Mentally, I knew all the movements, but I had to make my body relearn it, re-practice it, and redo it. Because after my surgery, both my legs were completely in a cast. The right leg was in a cast, but my left leg was also redundant. And when I went back to dancing, my knee was not in shape at all. And in Bharatanatyam, you need flexible knees. So I had to relearn The body had to relearn. And in the process of relearning, I understood the movement dynamics of each and every movement vis-a-vis my body. So if I'm stretching my hand or if I'm stretching my leg, where is the energy going? Where should I expend the energy? Where should I control the energy? I learned just while making my body learn it. So it became a part of my knowledge. And that's what I do now. I impart it to the next generation so that they can, first of all, strengthen their knees so that they don't have to go through what I went through. And also, they can learn from my mistakes. And what I gained in this whole process of making my body learn all, what I learned with the interest of every movement. Because a movement is not just one. No, there is a lot of thought which goes. Where is the energy? Is the energy on my elbow? Is the energy on my wrist? Or is the energy on my shoulder? Or is the energy on my whole body? Or is the energy only on my arm? So there are so many factors to just one micro movement. And it is these movements that I was able to connect with. And I'm so happy that I'm able to transfer this to the next generation. And I think warming up is a very, very essential part of Indian classical dance. It is a very essential part of Western classical dance. And we have to make it a very essential, imperative part of Indian classical dance. Warming up your joints, warming up your limbs before you start dancing. So that is the mistake I made, and I don't want the next generation to make the same mistakes.
Ramaji, can I ask you one question? Ashok here.
Yes, Ashokji.
I want to ask you, like, all classical art forms are learned in a very, very traditional Guru Shishya Parampara, and which is very, very important aspect also. But looking at today's age, the younger crowd, the younger generation, so what do you think? How can they relate or connect in 21st century through this art?
So, first of all, it is very important for the today's dancer, like I said before, to be very authentic and to be very honest and practice the dance form with a lot of integrity. And I think you need to at least spend 15 years learning, completely learning the dance form. And you need to spend another 10 years internalizing it, finding your connect, your individual connect with the dance, because art is subjective. Everybody has a different connect. So you have to spend another 10 years connecting with your dance form. So I think the most important thing is you need to have patience, and you need to read a lot of literature. You need to be alert with what is happening around the world. And you have to perceive your language. When I say your language, I mean Bharatanatyam. You need to perceive your language, making it relevant for today. Like that small piece of Varidalamo that I did. I didn't do anything different, but I am just pointing out the relevance of that song that it has for today's time. So this making it relevant for today is a long process, and like I said, it will happen when you connect, when you find your own connect with it. It is a very, very personal, individual connect that each dancer has with his or her or his dance. So in today's time, Ashokji, I would say that it is very, very important for the young dancer to maintain that strong balance of tradition and transition. the strong balance of what you have got from yesterday and what you will give tomorrow, keeping in mind the core principles of your dance.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is, please share your experience with the SPIC MACAY and how it is impacting the young minds according to you.
I have been extremely fortunate to have been a part of the movement called SPIC MACAY for several years now. I think more than 25 years. Every performance, like they say, like they say in corporate world, that you can have a fantastic salary and all of that, but you need job satisfaction. I think job satisfaction is something which is so important. And when I perform in front of those children and I see them understanding everything, or I see them just mesmerized and they go into a different world, I feel blessed. I feel blessed, and I always give a small thank you to God for making me a dancer, because I have been able to bring that kind of awareness, a little bit of divinity within these little kids through my dance. I've had little children coming and crying and telling me, मुझे नहीं पता मैं क्यों रो रही हूँ, लेकिन मैं रो रही हूँ. Or I have had children coming up to me and saying, मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, लेकिन मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. Once in school in Delhi, there was this young Sikh boy who came with a cute little Judy. He came up to me and he said, "Ma'am, मैं तो भरतनाट्यम पहली बार देख रहा हूँ, मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा." I said, "That's very good. क्या नाम है आपका?" He said, "मेरा नाम मनमीत सिंह है." Now, Manmeet Singh is a 30-year-old man. He is a deep connoisseur of classical arts. In Delhi, whenever I go for any classical dance performance, I see him there, and I see him there with his wife, and I think he's converted her also into a dance lover. That little boy who had never seen Bharatanatyam ever in his life before for the first time, now is a Rasik. And whenever I see him, I smile and I feel so happy and thrilled. And I want to say that it is because of SPIC MACAY that this has been possible, and I have been able to share my dance with these thousands of students all over the world. And it has been an any piece. Do you know this is a secret? Any piece that I choreograph first. When I conceptualize it and I've choreographed it, I always present it for a SPIC MACAY performance first. Because if the children have understood it, if the children have come into it, have come into the piece, or if I have been able to communicate the essence of this composition to children, then I can communicate with anybody, with everybody. So I always present my new compositions. I premiere my compositions for SPIC MACAY, and it has been an absolutely fantastic journey, and I want to thank SPIC MACAY once again for giving me this opportunity.
Okay, ma'am. So the next question is, which is your most memorable performance till now? And please share your experience regarding it.
Several memorable performances. Like Aligarh, I got off the train and I found out that my mridangist couldn't come. because right at the station, when he was lifting the mridangam, his shoulder blade came off and he couldn't play the mridangam. And just before me, Tijan Bai was performing in that festival, and she had a tabla artist, and I requested the tabla artist to play for me. And here in Aligarh, with these thousands of people sitting there, I was doing Bharatanatyam with a tabla artist who I had never met before. And I just told him, just follow the music, just follow me. I told him to enjoy himself and not feel tensed. And I thought to myself, I'm also going to enjoy myself and not get tensed that he's not going to be supporting. I'm not going to get a percussionist support. It's very important for a dancer to get a percussionist support. But I decided, okay, I threw caution out of the windows. And I just danced, and that's how it happened. Another very, very memorable performance is once in Moscow. I was performing in, it was an ICCR performance where I was an Indian delegate sent by the Indian government to celebrate the friendship between Moscow, Russia and India. And I was performing in this beautiful theater with 2,000 people sitting, and I was so thrilled. I finished my performance and everybody stood up and gave me a standing ovation, and I was so thrilled. I was on cloud 9, and that, oh, okay, I'm performing, and everybody's standing, everybody has liked the performance so much, and everybody's clapping. And I walked back to the green room feeling totally elated about myself when one Russian lady came running to me in the green room across the corridor. She came running to me and she said, "Your dance was very good. Your dance was very, very good." I said, "Oh, thank you, thank you. Thank you." Then she looked at me and she said, "But what is your name?" So I just looked at her. And then I realized that they were not clapping for Rama Vaidyanathan. They were clapping for what I represent. They were clapping for what I stand for. They were clapping for the art form that this medium showcased. So this body is just a medium. That is the moment I realized that I am so small and the art is so big, and whatever I do will be always only so much for that art, for that dance. So that was a moment in my life when I looked at her and I did not even give her my name. I said, "It's okay. It's okay." That's when I realized it's okay if she even doesn't know my name. If she has appreciated the art of Bharatanatyam, which has come through this medium, it is fine. So that was a very cathartic moment in my life.
Okay. The next question is, ma'am, please throw some light on your composition.
I always like to take poetry and create my own piece, conceptualize my own piece around it. And I have worked on a few productions. One such production was called Chitravali. It was based on the miniature paintings of North India. Those beautiful paintings of Krishna, Radha, Krishna and Radha sitting under the tree, Krishna doing the Ras Leela with the Gopikas, Krishna playing with his cowherds while he's herding the cows. And these paintings are so beautiful. And I said, okay, I will create a production. It will be as though the characters of the painting have jumped out, they have danced, and they have gone back into the painting. Because when you see a miniature painting, it is not just the painting, it is not just that moment which has been frozen in that whole painting. It is something which has happened before the painting, something which has happened, which will happen after the painting. The painter has just captured that one moment. So I try to imagine what has happened before these characters came onto the painting, and after this moment is over, what is going to happen. So I created that whole narrative around the painting. And I decided that I should have Hindustani music, because if I'm going to showcase the paintings as a backdrop on the stage, where the characters are all dressed in North Indian attire, and the compositions that I used were Sanskrit, Braj Bhasha, Hindi. These are the compositions I used. And to maintain the same flavor, I thought Hindustani music would be the right choice. But I definitely had a mridangist along with the tabla artist. And I started creating this production. At one time, I would look at the paintings and I would get frustrated because the paintings were so beautiful. And I felt that I as a dancer was not doing justice to the painting. So what happened was I had to push myself. I had to raise the bar for myself to try to reach the aesthetic excellence of the paintings. So in this whole production, what happened was that I felt that I had raised my own bar only because I was trying to raise my own self to the aesthetic elegance of a painting made by a painter who's not even alive now, hundreds of years ago. So it was a very, very beautiful experience for me to work on this production called Chitravali. My latest work is called Vivartana, When Dance Transforms, because I strongly believe in the transformational power of dance. Dance has the power to transform you as a person, the way you think, the way you feel about life, the way you accept life's situations, the way you deal with challenges, the way you look at problems and challenges, the way you deal with human beings, the way you dress, the way you think, the way you eat, the way you walk. Even your walk changes, even your walk gets transformed. So the transformational quality of dance is immense. I see it in the little girls who come to learn dance from me. When they come initially and after a few years, when dance seeps into them, the way they will sit, the way they will talk, the way they will react to elders changes. It gives a sanskar. It gives a sense of auchityam, to live and to be. So I decided to explore the transformational quality of dance, because dance transforms my pulse to pace with rhythm. Because when I'm dancing, my pulse is moving, my pulse is pulsating with my dance. So my pulse gets transformed. Dance transforms my body from singular, from still to motion. So if I'm still, dance brings in motion, kinetic energy into my dance. Dance transforms the space around me because I start carving geometry in space. Like students, you use your geometric instruments to make circles and squares, triangles on your book. You use your geometric instruments. We also carve geometry. We also do geometry. But for us, the book is the space. And where are our instruments? Our body. So we carve geometry in space. So the space around me gets a different energy, gets a different flavor. So the space around me gets transformed completely. And then dance transforms who? The person who is watching me. So dance transforms me from singular to plural. Because I am just that one person. But when I dance, there are so many people I connect with. And it is as though I become one with them. So dance transforms me from singular to plural. And I start being with all of them. So these are the qualities of transformational power of dance that I explored. And saints through the ages have said that dance is a medium to self-awareness. Dance is a medium to spiritual awakening. Look at all our saints. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he danced. Rumi spoke about dance which takes him into a higher realm, floating in the air like a leaf, so that God can come and accept him. Rumi spoke about dance. So many of our South Indian saints have spoken about dance being a transformational power. Mirabai used to dance. So I explored the transformational power of dance in this production called Vivartana, when dance transforms. There are several productions that I can talk of, but I think we need to go to other questions.
Okay, ma'am. Lastly, what message would you like to pass on to the youth of our country?
I think the most important aspect of dance is the breath, because it is the first rhythmic movement that we come across, that any living creature comes across, encounters. It's the breath. So, breath is what is the inherent quality of dance in a human being. So when I'm standing, I am static and dynamic at the same time. I'm static because I'm just sitting, but I'm also dynamic because I'm dancing within. The breath is moving. It's like the tree. The tree is static and dynamic at the same time. The tree is moving, it's growing every single second, its cells are multiplying. But when you look at the tree is static. It is embedded to the ground, static and dynamic. The breath gives us the quality of being dynamic while we are static. And the breath is a crucial part of dance because it is the control of breath, it is the manipulation of breath that gives us the power to dance with a sense of excellence. And breath is also a, the biggest unifying factor in this universe, I feel. Because there is one person standing in front of me, and I say, I don't like this person. But we both are inhaling and exhaling the same air. In fact, if I'm inhaling something and I'm releasing it, that person is inhaling something, inhaling air and exhaling air. Maybe it is that same air that he has exhaled that I am inhaling and I am exhaling. The same air that I exhale, he is inhaling and he is exhaling. So, can you imagine this atmosphere around us? It is the most unifying factor because all of us are breathing the same energy. We are breathing out of the same universe. And this pandemic is a respiratory disease. It is all about breath. It has shown us that the breath is a unifying quality for this earth, for this universe. And particularly for youngsters, and especially youngsters who are dancers. I think concentrating on your breath is crucial, and understanding where your breath comes from and where it is, and unifying experience of that breath. I call it Vishwa Prana. It is the Vishwa ka Prana. It is the energy, it is the life sustaining force of the whole universe unitedly. It's not that it is Vishwa Prana for me and not Vishwa Prana for you. It is Vishwa Prana for the whole universe. So we have to understand that, and especially as dancers, we have to bring in that unifying quality of human beings and in our dance. Ashokji asked me about initially asked me about how do we make it relevant for today. It is these qualities that we can bring into our dance to make it relevant for today.
Yeah. Ramaji, it was a very nice interaction. I'm sure the audience must have been inspired by you. One last question. You were a student of Saroja ji. Now your daughter is taking the family tradition forward. How do you perceive your relationship as a Shishya of Saroja ji and Guru to your daughter?
I think very, very enjoyable, very beautiful. Because my relationship with Guru Saroja Vaidyanathan is on several levels. We are also mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, so we are buddies. We go shopping together, and we go and eat pani puri together. But at the same time, I respect her because she is a legendary guru. I respect her for this wonderful institution called Ganesh Natyalaya that she has created. I respect her for the wisdom that she has given me and for the guidance that she has given me in this path of becoming a dancer. And for my daughter, it has been a very, very enjoyable experience to teach her dance because she, I must tell you, is a very conscientious girl. In class, when she's learning, she doesn't even call me mummy. She calls me ma'am in class. So that is how correct and conscientious she is. So it has been very, very beautiful nurturing her, and I feel very good to be sandwiched between Guru Saroja Vaidyanathan and my daughter Dakshina.
थैंक यू सो मच रमा जी। हमारे कार्यक्रम के लिए आपने अपना समय दिया, इसके लिए हम तहे दिल से शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं। धन्यवाद। नमस्ते।
थैंक यू। नमस्ते।
Namaskar, a very warm good morning. I welcome you all once again to the last day of our workshop. I hope you all wholeheartedly followed the ashram's schedule given by SPIC MACAY. We just now had the very wonderful interaction session with Rama Vaidyanathanji, and now we'll continue with our Bharatanatyam dance workshop. I once again welcome our Guru Apurvaji and her student Bhargavi. Also, if anyone have any questions related to our Guru, can leave it in the comment section on YouTube. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Alankita, once again. Very happy to be here this morning on the final day of the online Bharatanatyam workshop. Welcome to all of you. Good morning. Namaskar. Thanks for joining. So today being our last day, I'm going to tell you what our plan is going to be and what we're going to attempt to do today. We're going to revise the two fourways, the two sequences of dance that we have learned over the last 2 days. Okay, and we're going to learn one more short sequence as a new piece for today, a new section for today, as well as introducing a few rhythmic concepts, a few new interesting rhythmic ideas. Okay, that's going to be our main focus in terms of new material for today. But ultimately, the idea is going to be for us to put together everything that we have consolidated in the last 4 days as well as today. Okay, we're going to do the little shloka that we learned yesterday to do abhinaya for, along with the fourways, and see how it comes together as a completed piece. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Once again today, any questions that you may have about anything at all, please do share them, and I will try my best to answer as much as possible today, being the last day that we are going to meet and spend time together. Okay, are we all ready today to start? Let's start. So we're going to start as usual with our namaskaram. Okay. So, like always, let's take a few moments before we start. Our try is to answer as much as possible today, being the. Is everything all right? Sorry. Alankrita, are we okay? Is everything going fine on the live stream?
Yes, ma'am, everything is fine.
Okay, sorry, because I heard some voice in between and I wasn't very sure if that was an interruption. So, sorry about that. So, let's start our namaskaram again. All right, so let's stand in Sampadam, release the muscles on your core, and make sure you place it on the floor with as much grounding as possible, as much as possible. And you can stay there for a second and just sway your body forward and backward, side to side. Try to find your weight balance on the center of your body. Okay? Once you have done that, straighten your legs, push your knees straight, push against the floor, tighten all the muscles in your legs, tighten your core, spine straightening and lengthening right up to the ceiling like someone was pulling you up with a string. Now, place your hand on your hip and let's take about 10 or 20 seconds to just align and focus in this position. Okay? So let's all close our eyes together. Concentrate, feel every part of your body. Feel your toes on the floor, feel your ankle joints and all the muscles in your legs. Extremely strong, tight, taut. Your core muscles tight, your back, your buttocks pulled in. And now let's take 3 very deep breaths in. Breathe in. And breathe out. Deep breath in. Breathe out. The last time, fill your lungs with as much air as possible. Breathe in. and breathe out. Slowly. Open your eyes. Bring your hands in Bharatanatyam in front of your body. Turn your feet around. Go into Aramandi position. And let's start our Namaskar. Everyone, and we are ready to begin our revision. Okay, so we're going to start first up from the core way that we learned day before yesterday and also revised yesterday. So this, remember, was a core way that was set to Adi Talam. Adi Talam being a cycle of 8 beats. And within these 8 beats, each beat is divided into 3 smaller counts. And we call this Tishra Nade. So it is a core way in Tishra Nade of Adi Talam. Okay? So shall we revise that once? So the way we're going to do it today is you're going to directly stand up and do it with me. Okay? Because we've already seen this core way for 2 days today. Okay? By now. So I'm going to do it once to start with. And then Bhargavi is going to do it. So you can dance with both of us. Okay? Let's start. So I'm going to start. So join me, everyone, in doing it together. Starting position is Samapadam. Left hand is Noda, right hand is Kataka. Okay? Thandam. Tutta, tatta, deen, deen, tutta, tatta, tatta. Okay, let's do it one more time. Now I'm going to ask Bhargavi to do it so that I can say the rhythm and Bhargavi will be doing it along with you. Shall we start? Bhargavi, once again, can you please bring your screen slightly forward so that your feet can also be seen? Yes, that's fair. Thank you. Okay. So now, what I'm going to ask Bhargavi to do is take a lead count of 8 counts. Okay? 8 counts, of course, each of them being a takita each. Okay, so she's going to take a lead up of 8 takitas, of which the first 4 takitas is just for her to get ready, right? The way we do normally 1, 2, 3, start. Only for her to know that we're beginning. The next 4 takitas, she is going to introduce a Griva Vedha, the Sundari movement of the neck, so that the body, the mind, everything begins to prepare for the korvai that is to come, and so does the audience, right? We don't want to jump into a korvai from the middle of nothing. So we have to also create a very elegant bridge between whatever we have done before and what we are about to do. Okay, so that's what we're going to do together. Let's start. Takita, 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 dhannan. Nice. Okay, is everyone good with that? So can we move on to the next korvai? The second korvai that we learned yesterday was very similar to the first in terms of rhythmic idea. What did we do? It was once again set to Adi Talam, cycle of 8 beats, and it was now divided into 5 counts each. Each beat in Adi Talam divided into 5 counts, which we call the Khanda Nadai in Adi Talam. Okay, so which means for every count we're going to count it as okay, does that make sense? So we once again start. I will do it first. Okay, so you can do it along with me and then do it along with Bharti. And remember, for this korvai, we had introduced the use of different instruments. This one, which is the mridanga, that we use very commonly in Bharatanatyam. And remember, I told you the length, not too wide, not too short, as much as your knees spread out in Anubhav. Here is the last bit. The second instrument we did was this, which was the kanjira, the small round instrument like this. The third instrument is what we showed like this. Okay? Was that, did that help you recall what we have done yesterday? So shall we do it one more time now? I'm going to ask Bhargavi to do it with all of you so you can watch her for the first time and join her in doing it. Okay? Once again, like you saw, I did that as well. We're going to take a lead up of 8 khandas. Okay? Or 8 counts of 5. First 4, just to bring your hands and get ready. Second 4, to start off with the attami. Okay? Or a movement of the neck. Let's try. Taka takita taka takita taka takita taka takita taka takita taka takita takita taka takita taka taka takita taka takita litta taka takita litta taka takita taka takita taka takita litta taka takita litta dit dit tei takita dit dit tei takita dit dit tei takita dit dit tei takita dit tei dit tei dit tei dit tei taka takita tei dit tei tei dit tei tei dit tei. Nice. So if you all now notice, I was also putting the talam, okay, as I said the cycle of beats or the sollakatte. Remember the rhythmic syllables that we utter, we call it sollakatte, okay. So the sollakatte that I was saying it along with the adi talam, and in this case, okay, so because this is much more new to us, this korvai, I'm going to ask Bhargavi to do it one more time with all of you. Okay, because it's less familiar in thought. Let's do it one more time. Before we go on, so yesterday I remember somebody had asked us a question about the instruments that we use, right, in Bharatanatyam. Now, and what instruments we use in a class versus also what we use for a performance. So I'm going to just, I have brought the talam here for those of you who may not be familiar with it, okay, to show you what the Natwangam talam looks like. So there are 2. This is first of all to quantify. We have just been showing this with a pataka and a kapita, right? That is what this instrument is. Now this is actually very, it's a very, very important part of Bharatanatyam and what we do, because this is what the teacher uses to conduct a class or to conduct a recital, much more important, right? So the bigger one is held on the left-hand side in your palm like this, which is why we use the Pataka Hasta, right? It sits in your palm like this. And the right is held exactly almost like with Kapita. So we have 2 possible strokes. We do that and this. So 1 and 2. These are the two strokes that are possible with the talam. Okay, and with this, all the combinations that we do in Bharatanatyam is created. Okay, so I'm going to try. I don't want this to distract because I don't know if the sound is too loud. But I'm going to play this the next time that Bhargavi is going to do along with you the Khandanade four-way. Okay, just to mark the beats so that you get used to the sound. Shall we try that? Come. Very nice. Good, good. I think we're doing very, very well. So it's time for us to go on today straight away to our third four-way, okay? Which, once again, because now you have that much more experience, is going to be a little more longer, little more complex than the previous two, okay? Over here, though, rhythmically, we're going to introduce a small difference, a very, very minor difference, and that is going to be while we continue in the Adi Talam, okay, cycles of 8, we are going to come back to the Chatushra Nade. What is Chatushram? Chatushram is count of 4 or 2, however you count it. If you're counting slow speed, it is 2, fast speed, it is 4, okay? So we're coming back to the Chatushra Nade, and why am I using the word coming back to, instead of saying we are now moving on to Chatushra Nade? Because Chatushra Nade is the most common usage of most of our rhythmic cycles, okay? So normally when I count cycles of 8 in a talam, I tend to automatically divide it into 4 or 2 counts. That's the norm. And from there we make variations into Tishram, Khandam, Mishram or Sankirna, okay? So what does that mean? I'm going to now use my Adi talam as ta, ka, dhi, mi, ta, ka, jo, nu, ta, ka, dhi, mi, ta, ka, jo, nu, ta, ka, dhi, mi, ta, ka, jo, nu, ta. Okay, so I counted the first half with 2 counts, second half with 4 counts, just to show that it is equivalent, it is the same thing. Now, but within this Chatushra Nade, I am going to use Sankirna. Does that make sense? So I am not dividing each count into 9 beats, not making it Sankirna Nade, but within the Chatushra Nade Adi Talam, I will use counts of 9. How can I do that? Remember what was 9? 9 was a combination of 4 and 5. So I can say ta, ka, dhi, mi, ta, ka, ta, ki, ta. Okay, that is Sankirna. So how can I do that in this talam? So I can do ta, ka, dhi, mi, ta, ka, ta, ki, ta, ta, ka, dhi, mi, ta, ka, ta, ki, ta, ta, ka, dhi, mi, ta, ka, ta, ki, ta, ta, ka, ta, ki, ta, ta. Okay, so I am saying only 2 beats per syllable. Okay, this is going to be the tiny difference. We will come back to it and discuss the rhythm much more once we have learned the Korve. But are we all ready to go ahead and learn this Korve? Yes, let's start. Come. So we're going to employ in this Korve use of walks. Remember, we spent a lot of time, one of the classes, learning the different types of walks. How do I walk in Bharatanatyam? Lift, place the heel, use the bounce of the body. Lift, place the toe, box, sway, and straight, and sway. And within the sway, I have two possibilities, looking in the same direction or looking in the opposite direction, which gives it a different feeling. Okay, remember we use this. So now in this next survey, we're going to implement a lot of walking possibilities as well as introduce small new adabas as well. Okay, so we're going to do many things now. So let's start. I'm going to start with the feet first. We're going to start slightly up forward because our movement is going to be towards the back of the room. Okay, and I'm going to start with ta, heel, me, ta, ta, heel. Okay, one more time. So the first two counts of walk are slow. Right leg, left leg, then faster. 1, 2, join your feet. Ta, heel, ta. So you remember we did this movement, the Anshita movement on the first day. So we're going to place our leg on the heel and stamp with both feet together. Okay, let's try this one more time. 1, 2, 3, start. Ta, ka, heel, me, ta, ka, ta, heel, ta. Now this Anshitam can be done in two ways. You either do it with a single foot and a stamp, or you do it with a double foot and a stamp. Both possibilities are there. We're going to stick to the single foot. Okay? And the same thing is going to be repeated to the left. So we do left, right, ta, ka, ta, left. Okay? Clear? One more time. Right and left together. 1, 2, 3, ta, ta, ka, he, me, ta, ka, ta, he, ta, ta, ka, he, me, ta, ka, ta, he, ta. Okay? Hands for this movement. We're going to use Katagamata and Padma. Okay? And ta, ka, he, me, ta, ka, ta, he, ta. So what did I do? We start, let's concentrate only on the hands. Katagamata. Take your right hand behind you. So we're going in a diagonal of the hands. But one hand is going behind me, one is going in front of me. Okay? And I'm going to use a circle of the wrist and come back to Katagamata. So the circle is the Malapadma, Katagamata coming back. So I move 1 when I place, come back to Katagamata. 2, come back to Katagamata. Now take the left hand above right hand here. Ta, ka, ta, he, ta. So the hand creates a little semicircle. Then, and I'm using a wrist movement for the hip touch. Okay, let's try this together. 1, 2, 3, ta, ta, ka, he, me, ta, ka, ta, ta, left, ta, ka, he, me, ta, ka, ta, he, ta. Okay, is that clear? From here, the next section to complete the first Bharatanatyam is going to be, let's go with the feet alone. So from here, I'm going to do dit, 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 ta, ta, ta. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm using two dit, 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 dit. 6 counts. Okay, I'm going to give one pause or one party and follow it up with 2 counts. Tap, tap, which is a jump. Let's try that again. So I do dit, 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 dit. Pause, tap, tap. Okay, one more time. Feet together. 1, 2, 3, start. Dit, 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 dit. Tap, tap, tap. From here, we're going to do 3 are adding an extra Samattatya along with the Anshita Nata position. So what happens now to that end part of the sequence in totality? We do this, 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 ta, 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 this, 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 this. Okay. Hands for this movement. Same position. From Pratanatyam here, we're going to go into a diagonal positioning like this. Same movement that you did for the walk. Circle. Wrist, come back to Pratanatyam. Circle, wrist in Anubhav. Come back to Pratanatyam. Okay? So, this, ta. The gap is right there. Ta. Jump forward. Stay. Okay, so now this last adabal is a very important adabal that we use in Bharatanatyam, very signature adabal also. Okay, what I'd like you to know about it is that it is an adabal very commonly used to complete the 4 ways. Okay, any sequence of adabals we will complete with what we call a Tirmanam adabal. Okay, Tirmanam is completion, finishing. So the name given to it, common name given to it itself is the completion adabal, the finishing adabal. Okay, so this movement, let me show it to you once seated down, so you see only the hands. It is much more complex in terms of coordination of upper and lower body. So, and this is something that we as dancers learn much later in our practice. Okay, I've introduced it today just so that you get a taste and a feel for it, but don't worry if you're not able to attempt it just yet. That's normal. Okay, we're making it much more complex. So, one hand placed in front of you, one placed here. Stay. The left hand circles around the body and comes down. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So with this adabal, just follow as best as you can. Don't worry if you don't. So let's look at that last section with the hands and the legs. So this is my starting position, and I this, okay. Shall we do this whole Avartanam together once? Let's start. So it begins from the walk. Position here. 1, 2, 3. Ta, ta, ta. He, me. Ta, ta, ta. He, ta, ta, ta. He, me. Ta, ta, ta. He, ta, he, me. Ta, ta, ta. He, Okay, let's see how that looks. So this one, we're going to take the 4-way, one Avartanam, one section at a time now. Okay, so I'm going to ask Bhargavi to do the first section now for us to build the first section as a proper idea. Shall we, Bhargavi? Let's start. And everybody join her in doing it. We're going to try very slow movements. Anywhere, as always, if anything is complex, try only your feet or try only your hands. Okay? Let's start. 1, 2, 3, start. Ta, ka. He, me, ta, ka. Ta, he, ka. Ta, ka. He, me, ta, ka. Ta, he, ka. Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. Let's concentrate on that step a little bit. What is important over here is that it is a proper backward stretch of the hands. Okay, so your shoulders are still mostly facing in front. You are facing in front, but the hand goes behind you. Okay, so this movement is happening behind your body. This movement is happening in front of your body. And your attempt is going to be to glance at that right hand below you. So what are you doing? In a way, you're making pace with your body, right? It is not ta, ka, ni, ni. Okay, we don't want it to look like that. What we want it to look like is ta. So you see how my shoulder is still facing in front, but ta, ka, ni, ni. Okay, so I am looking over my shoulder to the other hand. Alright? And the second important thing here is to really allow your wrist to be fluid. Okay? So remember I told you a couple of classes back that everything in Bharatanatyam has to be really resistant, top, right? The position. You can't allow it to just be floating around the place. But there are certain movements like the Dola Hasta where we introduce that relaxation of the muscles, which brings in its own beauty because it's a surprise element, right, when it comes. So here, it is not open-close like we've done before, but it is a nice movement of the wrist in an absolute fluid manner. Okay, let's try that once. 1, 2, 3, ta, ta, ka. So don't cross your leg. Hardly don't cross your leg. Place your leg back in a straight line so that your body allows for the movement that you're creating. Okay. See what happens is when we do ta, ka. You see what is happening? If I already am crossing my leg, my body will go with it. There is no line that I'm creating with the hand because I've lost the front position. So what I want to do is make sure I'm placing my leg exactly in a straight line so that ta, this is the position, and from here I turn. That's it. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, so it is looking behind, not going along with the hand. And shall we try that again? 1, 2, 3, ta, ta, and ta, 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 ti, ta, 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 di, ta, 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 ti, ta. Okay, nice. One more time. Step forward. We'll do it slightly faster with continuity. Okay, 1, 2, 3, ta, 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 ti, mi, ta, 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 ti, ta. You need to get the pace. One more time. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, ta, 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 ti, mi, ta, 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 ti, ta, 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 ti, mi, ta, 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 ti, ta. Okay. Now going on to the next part. What is the next part? Did, ta, 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 did. Okay, let's do it slower. 1, 2, 3, start. Did, ta, ta, ka. There is no tatte. There is no extra tatte there. Takka is only 2 counts. So we want to jump straight away. Right after the pause. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, start. Did, ta, ta, ka, did. Very nice. Okay. Let's do the whole sequence together. From beginning from the 1, 2, 3, start. Ta, ta. Straight placement of the leg. You're still crossing your leg a little bit, so that will change how the body usage is. Okay. So I want all of you to pay attention to your own bodies. Observe how you are walking back. Okay. 1, 2, 3, start. Ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, ta, ti, ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, ti, ta, did, ta, ta, ka, ti, Nice. All right. This is our first sequence. Now let's go on to learn the second sequence of the Korvai itself. Okay, so notice what we're doing here. We're building smaller logical sequences, okay, putting words together to create one complete sequence within the Avartanam itself, and then putting the Avartanams together to create a longer sequence, right? So it's a very beautiful, it's like stringing a garland together. The process is very, very logical. We start from the smallest bit, even when in our training process or in the choreography or creation process as well. Start with the tiniest bit, add a little bit more, create larger units. Put the larger units together, create even larger sequences. Okay, so now we're going to do the second sequence of this Korvai. Once again, here we're going to use the walks, but in a different way, with a different hand movement and hand gesture. Okay. So let's do the legs first, legs alone. So here, just like how in Samapadam we did, both feet jump together, which came under the Samapada Padaveka, right? Samam Padaveka. So we're going to do the same thing with the Aramandi. So in the Aramandi, I'm going to jump with both my feet. And you remember we did this also in the Padaveka on the very first. What I'm going to do is ka, he, me, ka, he. Is that clear? So I'm now, what am I doing? I'm walking towards my left diagonal. My first step is ka, he, me, ka, he. Okay? Let's start. One more time. 2, 3, ka, he, me, ka, he. From here, I'm going to do a Takta method for 4 counts. How am I going to do it? I'm going to do it as ka, he, me, pause. Ka, he, me. 4 counts, 1 pause, 4 counts. Okay, let's try the whole sequence once together. Ka, he, me, ka, he, pause. He, me, on the left. He, me, ka, he, Now over here, after I finish the Takati, there's going to be a small change. Instead of doing the Takati method, I do 3, 3, 3, 3. Same thing that we did previous, but instead of the right leg, I'm going to use my left. Okay, is that clear? Let's do this sequence one more time fully for the feet. 1, 2, 3, start. He, me, ta, he, he, me. Sorry, this one's not good here. It's just a pause. So we do he, me, ta, he, me, ta, he, me, ta, he, okay, is that clear? And what do we do with the hands? Once again, same hasta. Okay, but I'm going to commence the movement with my left hand on top of my head, right hand in the center, and do ta, ka, he, me, ta, he, ta. Okay, does that make sense? From the center to the right, circle, and the dinta is the same as before. So this will be the same thing on the left. Circle, dinta. Okay? Let's try it along with the next one. 2, 3, start. He, me, ta, he, ta. So from here we have the takati. So for the takati movement, I'm going to do something slightly interesting. The right hand becomes Tamarachula count out for our fundamental. And the left hand is going to open in Anubhav into a circle and landing Dola Hasta. Okay? So how is this animal going to look differently? It's going to look like okay? So you see, one interesting that happened here is we are creating one hand movement, which is just a flow from the top to the bottom, while we are doing two separated feet movement. We're doing takadimi, pause, takadimi. Okay? But there is no pause in the hand. So once again, remember what we spoke about is interesting cross dynamics between the upper body and the lower body, right? Where they're doing slightly different things from each other, but which sit very beautifully one on top of the other. Okay, so let's see that again. From here, we do after finishing this, we start the left once again. So we have to prepare. But my hands are going to be the same as what I did for the third. Okay? Once again, Kamara Chuda. So, same has the usage for different leg possibilities. Shall we see how that whole sequence looks now together? I'm just going to do it a couple of times much faster. So I'd like you to watch me first. 1, 2, 3, okay, is that clear? Shall we all try it together now? We'll try it much slower in parts. Okay, so Bhargavi, can I request you to do it one part at a time? So we're going to do the walking part first. Okay. Let's start. 1. So which hand are we starting with? We're starting with the right hand going out. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, start. Ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, ta, ki, ka. Very nice. Now change to Kamara Chuda on the right hand and do. Face forward and ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ta, ka, di, mi. Now prepare your hand for the left hand side. Stay in Aramandi, prepare. And 1, 2, 3, start. Ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, ta, ki, ka. Change hasta to Kamara Chuda first and start. Tei, 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 yeah. So when we do the Dola hasta once again, remember what we spoke about it. All the joints are easy. Okay, so we don't want to keep the hand very straight. It doesn't look nice. If you stiffen this elbow, it doesn't create the idea of Dola. Right? So for Dola, right from here, you allow the hand to relax. So there's a gentle turn. It is not like this, but a very gentle flow of the hand. Gentle flow of the hand. So it's like, it's like a waterfall. Right? The energy is that there is no sharp cut in your hand anywhere. There is a flow. 1, 2, 3, start. Ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, ta, ki, ka, ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ta, ka, ki, mi, ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, ta, ki, ka, tei, tei, tei. Very nice. One last time. One more time. Okay? Try to start as far back from your room as possible so that you don't move too close to the camera. Okay? Last time, everyone. So pull together, do it along with Bhargavi. Really try to concentrate and get this right. 1, 2, 3, start. Ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, ta, ki, di mi ta ta ka di mi ta ka di mi ta ka ta di ta di di. Very nice. Now we have only one more sequence to learn. Okay, so we're almost there. But before we move on, shall we revise sequence 1 and 2 together? Can we do that quickly? Let's go from the beginning. Let's see how much we remember. 1, 2, 3, start. Ta, ka, di, mi, ta. Ka, di, ka, ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, ta, di, 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 ta, ta, ka, di, 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 ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, ta, di, ta, ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ka, ta, di, ta, di, di, di. Very nice. Very nice. We're almost there with this close. So now, the last sequence, we're going to introduce one more new movement, which is a adavan that helps us cover space. Okay. So far, if you notice, most, except for the walk, most of our adavans are grounded, right? They're all in one place. They're very strongly rooted into a place. But what do we do if we want to cover space? So Bharatanatyam definitely has many adavas which allow us to traverse space physically. Okay, and we're going to learn one such adava now. It's very simple, nothing complex. Okay, let's try. So the movement is very simple in the sense that I'm going to stand with one leg, cross with the other. Stand with one leg, cross with the other. Okay, so if I had space, I would keep going in that direction. Similarly, right and cross and cross, right and cross and right and cross. So in this manner, I can create movement in any direction that I want. Okay, I'm going to create a movement in a circular direction now for this curve. Okay, so let's do only the legs first. I start from here with center, and I'm going to do hit, 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 hit. Same thing on the other side. Hit, 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 hit. Okay, so movements of this way to go in a circle. The one thing to notice here is that I created an asymmetry between right side and left side. On the right side, I did 5 in place. On the left side, I did 4. Okay? Can we count along with me as we do it now? 1, 2, 3. Stop. Hit. 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 Okay, so 5 and 4. Hands for this is going to be left hand on the hip, right hand gonna come back, and a simple circle. Change your hand to the left hand, simple circle. Follow the circle as you come back to the center. Okay, let's see how it looks along with the hands and legs. Yeah. Hit, 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 hit. Okay. Continuing from here, we are going to do what we did earlier. What I said, the Tirmanam Adavu. Okay, both with the feet as well as with the hands. But here, introducing a larger set of the Tirmanam Adavu. Why? Because I'm finishing the whole way. Okay, therefore, I'm introducing a much larger movement of the Tirmanam the day is constant. I start with 3 counts before the day. 1, 2, 3, the day. 1, 2, the day. 1, the day. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, 0. One more time, I'm going to do only the feet. And I want you to concentrate on the feet for now because the hands are going to be these complex set of movements. Okay, so from here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. Okay, so I will go ahead and show you how that last sequence looks, doing it at a slightly faster pace, including my hands for the Tirmana Madaval. Okay, but for the Tirmana Madaval, for the moment, you can keep your hands on your hips and concentrate on the feet. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, start. Okay, so that's how it will finally look when you're doing it at a slightly faster pace, incorporating all the elements that are involved. But let's try it together. Okay, so Bhargavi, can we try from the beginning of the third sequence? The turning first, hands and legs together. Okay, 1, 2, 3, start. Okay, simple. The circle is what you need to concentrate on. Let me give you another option of doing the last part. Okay, so what we will do is we do all our the section with our hands crossed like this. Okay, so Bhargavi, can you show us that whole end sequence with the end done with the hasta like this? Okay, and for the alone we do the similar to the end of the second chord. So can we try that option also once? Beginning from the 1, 2, 3, start. Hit, stay, hit, stay, hit, stay, hit, stay, hit, stay left, hit, stay, hit, stay, hit, stay, hit, stay, 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 stay. What is the last one? Just did. Yes. So with your feet, it's just did and your hands go together. Okay. So this is something that you can keep as an option in the beginning as you begin to practice this korve. As it gets comfortable, you can attempt the Tirmanam Adavu, which is what we are going to continue to do. Okay, from now on. Okay, one more time. Last time had to be slightly faster. Now we're going to attempt. Okay, 1, 2, 3, start. Hit, stay, hit, stay, hit, stay, hit, stay, hit, hit, stay, hit, stay, hit, stay, hit, Okay, how does that feel? How do we stand with that? Everyone feeling good? One attempt at doing the whole thing together? How about that? Shall we do it? We'll come back to it. We can revise it one more time at the end. But for now, concentrate because we're standing about 1 hour into class, halfway into class. So let's muster all our energy. Do it one time. Okay? Continuously, slowly, but continuously. And then we will take a pause. Okay? From the physical. Come, let's start from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, start. Ta, ka, me, ta, ti, ta, Excellent. Very, very nice. Wonderful. So let's all take a break now. Sit down, take a sip of water, take a breather. And while we do that, I'm going to request Alankrita to help us with bringing up our presentation. Okay. What we're going to do is now try and concentrate and understand the same four-way, okay, that we have been working on, but understanding it further from a rhythmic aspect. Okay. So you don't need to do much. Sit down, relax, have your water, and concentrate on the presentation. And in the meantime, of course, it's also a good moment for you to ask me any questions that you may have, which we will take right after the presentation. Okay. Okay. Can we go on to a full screen mode, Alankrita, please?
That's happening, ma'am. Just a moment.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Okay, I don't see any questions, many questions as yet, but the one question that we have is from Alka Srivastava, which is, how can one maintain purity of dance while performing on modern theme or fusion music? And what is Bharatanatyam fusion? Okay, I'm going to try to answer these questions to the best of my ability. Let us see. So, like I said initially, Alka, Bharatanatyam is as good as any language. Okay. So, if I'm speaking today the English language, I can communicate through it whatever subject I so wish to speak. This, it does not matter what the subject is at all. Okay. There is complete possibility and freedom within this structure for us to speak the language, speak the subject or the story that we so desire. Okay. Yet, just like how when I speak English, I am adhering to the grammar of what I'm doing. So what am I doing? I'm not creating new words, right? I'm not changing the order of the words or dropping out conjunctions or dropping out pronouns in between, right? It will not make sense to an audience. So I think you need to view it in that way. I could be using the same set of hasta mudras, the same facial expressions, the same body stance to talk about some issue. For instance, to talk about maybe the COVID-19 situation. Okay? But what is important is for you to start speaking your own story once you have a clear understanding of the grammar of the language. Again, if I can give you an example, when you start learning Hindi in school or a new language, okay, let's say you're learning Tamil in your school, the first year that you learn Tamil, at the end of the year, you can't write a novel, correct? It's going to take you 10 years of learning the language, reading a lot, understanding the how the language functions before you are able to do something as large as writing a novel. In the same way, give it time. You need to give yourself time to understand the grammar of the form before you can attempt to tell your own story with it. And that's about it. Beyond it, there are no, it's very difficult for anyone to bring together or assimilate a set of rules saying this constitutes Bharatanatyam. So now you can go do whatever you want. Those are the rules that we assimilate over a very long period of training. Okay. With regard to your question on what is Bharatanatyam fusion, I don't know what Bharatanatyam fusion is. I don't think there can be such a thing. Okay. Bharatanatyam is Bharatanatyam. If you have made a conscious choice to mix that with another style, that is a choice you have made. But I don't think there is a name that can be given to it. As far as dancing Bharatanatyam to fusion music is concerned, if it is done out of a certain inspiration, because you feel like what you have chosen to do, the story you have decided to tell, fits perfectly to that music, you can do that. Once again, without meddling with the grammatical form of the dance. Okay, a very beautiful example I can give you for this is a dance piece that Dr. Padma Subramaniam had created on the music, the symphony orchestra of Tchaikovsky, who is a Western classical music composer, right? And she did the entire incident of Jatayu Moksha from the Ramayana, right, to that piece of music. Now here, we're not even talking fusion, we're talking Western classical composition. But I heard her say this in an interview that as she was hearing that piece of music, the only scene that was running in her head was this entire Jatayu Moksha. It felt so natural to her that she felt this would be a very good fit. So when you come from a place of inspiration like that, the tendency is for you to get it right, whatever it is that you're doing. So once again, the attempt shouldn't be, I want to set for fusion music, okay, and go that way. You have to be inspired to use something, and it has to come after you have a very, very strong and sturdy understanding of the grammar of the form itself. Okay, I know that's more of a overview kind of an answer, but I hope that at least motivates the idea in the right direction. Anvesha Rana asks, can you give examples of some adavus in which head movements are used? Anvesha, we use our head movement in practically every adavu that we do. Okay, it is just like how we spoke about the eye following the hand. Okay, if the eye has to follow the hand, the head has to follow the eye, right? Because we cannot, for instance, look at the hand like that. When we say look at somebody, we look at them, right? We look at them. We don't look like this unless we're scared, unless we've done something wrong. So the movement of the eye and the head is always coordinated. So all the adavus, we use our head movement. Absolutely no doubt about it. So the variations can be side movement, okay? A slanted side movement, up, rotation, the way half moon, and limitless possibility, right? Once again, half moon like this. So many, but we're always using head movements in adavus. Okay? Parishi asks, how can we be more creative with choreography of I'm not sure what the last word, a korve. Okay, sorry. How can we be more creative with the choreography of a korve? Now, to be more creative with choreography, first thing is, of course, we have an entire expanse of adavus that we put together, right? All the footwork possibilities are in place. Now, you may have been taught an adavu. For instance, let me give you an example, that you are taught a Tehi, Tei, tei, hi. Let me do the standing up view so that you get a sense of what I'm saying. So the adava that may be taught to you in class is tei, tei, hi, tei, tei. Okay. Now from here, I know what my grammatical rules are of using my hand. Remember, 45-degree angle, vertical, horizontal, and the 3 planes. Within this, you can explore what are all the hastas I can use that may be suitable for this article. Second, what are all the directions in which I can use my hand that might be suitable for this article. Okay. So now I'm going to show you a few traditional examples of variations of hastas in this set. So instead of doing both we do one hand pataka, tei, 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 tei. We do tripataka hasta, tei, 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 tei. Okay. We do other forms, tei, tei. Okay. Or alright. So to this usage, there is no end. There is no end to the creativity over here. There may be some hastas that I may not be able to use appropriately or may not give completion to the other. For instance, if I do this. Now, although I'm using a little bit more hasta, I'm not doing much with it, right? It's not wrong, but it doesn't look like anything because it's just keeping my hand in one place. Okay. Similarly, let's say I want to do something like a shikara hasta, for example. Okay. Doesn't seem quite to fit with the energy of the hasta. But if I wanted to use a shikara hasta, maybe I could use it in this fashion. Okay, so you start always with the constituent units. Start with the adavas, look at all the possibilities that you can incorporate. Once you create this variety for yourself, you can create a sequence in a korve. Okay, there are some other rules to the construction of a korve also, which is rhythmic rules, for instance, that we have reducing patterns within a korve rhythmically all the time. So if I start with 8 counts, it will come down to 4 counts, come down to 2 counts, and then finish with a Tirmanamada. Okay, very simplistically I'm telling you. So you have to be aware of the rhythmic pattern of the korve. And the other thing is, give it some kind of a connection or a coherence. What I mean by that is, for example, when we did the second korve, what was our connection? There were 2 commonalities. One is the khanda, the rhythmic connection. The other was the instruments, right? So we decided to take the entire korve as different instruments, percussion instruments used in dance. So it is a choice. I have given it that connection. Similarly, for the last korve, now we decided we'll use a lot of walks. And this became the sort of a key movement that we used. So try to have some kind of a thread through the korve so that there is a reason why it looks like it is a garland, right? It doesn't look like random flowers just one after the other, but it is all flowers of a similar color or alternating colors, right? Having a certain pattern. So that's another thing that you can keep in mind. So the next question is from Sandhya Jain. When we are performing a circle with Dittai 5 times, how much should we bend our upper torso? Thanks for that question, Sandhya, and good that you pointed it out because I didn't explicitly mention all the way so that our hand touches the floor. So let me show you that. When you do this movement, okay, you upward movement straight up, side bend, side bend, side bend, all the way down. So my fingers touching the floor and I drop. Okay, so when I do it with my this, side movement, forward, concerned, as much movement as you can give, the prettier the movement gets. So you can attempt to touch the floor, grace the floor with your fingers. Lovely. So, Alankrita, sorry, I know we got sidetracked, but you have our presentation ready for us. Thank you very much. So I'd like all of you to pay attention to the presentation that must be up on your screens right now. Okay. And I'm not going to spend much time on this first slide, which is there, but I have put it only as a reference because you remember we also had written down the first korve, the Tishra Nade korve in the same grid format. So similarly, I have written the Khanda Nade korve in the grid format, which you can later on visit and have a look, okay? Because it needs time. You need to be able to spend time on this and understand what is happening. But to give you a essence of how we write dance notation. Let's go on to the next slide. Once again, very quick summary. This is for your later reference that we've done our first two korves, both Aditalam, one in Tishra Nade, one in Khanda Nade, one 3 avartanams, one 4 avartanams. We've spoken about all of this. Going on to the next one, which is going to be where it's getting interesting. Third korve, like I said, same cycle of Aditalam, but now in Chatushra Nade, which we have also demonstrated, 2 counts or 4 counts per beat. Okay. And what have we done within that in the korve? So if we go on to the next slide, this is just a quick reminder for you of the notations that I introduced a couple of days back. A comma means a single count, a semicolon could mean 2 counts, and an underline or a double underline could mean the respectively faster speeds. Okay. So on the next slide, we're going to have used all of this notation. Okay. So here is where I want you all to spend some time. Look at the first section, which is now the Sullikattil, the actual goal that we're going to say for the this third korve. Okay, I'm going to say it once. Try to say it with me, and read the screen as you go along. Okay, so tam, tam, ta, ka, ta, jam. Okay, so I read wherever there was a syllable. Wherever there is a comma, it is a pause. So I just counted it with a clap. So what happens is that entire top part reads as tam, tam, ta, ka, ta, jam, beam, beam, ta, ka, ta, jam, boom, boom, ta, ka, ta, jam, ta, ka, dikku, ta, ding, okay, the last part, ta, ka, dikku, ta, ding, is 5 counts. So I'm going to ask Bhargavi to tell us. I've lost her. Bhargavi, so why do we have that last pattern as 5 counts instead of 9 counts? Any ideas there? So you're able to see the element, right? So the first 3 is the tam, tam, taka, tajam. Each of them are 9 counts. But the last line alone is 5 counts. Why is that?
For the Tirmanadavu, right?
For the Tirmanadavu, correct. But why are we not following patterns of 9 and doing 9, 9, 9, 9? Why did we go 5 here?
The talam must end in samam, so.
Yeah, can you explain what that means? What is talam ending in samam?
So it has to end in, multiples of 8. So we're doing Aditalam, it has 8 counts, and when we have to finish, it has to be a multiple of 8. So 9 plus 9 plus 9 is 27. And the last one is 32. So 8 4s are 32. So yeah, it ends in 4 avartanam.
Very nice. So we created basically a 4 avartanam or a 2 avartanam cycle, depending upon how we count the Aditalam. Okay. Then I have instead of or kathak or dance has to come back to its rightful place, which is the beginning of the cycle. Okay. And therefore, to complete the cycle, we have to see how many counts are left when we are going, okay, and fill it up accordingly. So that's the reason why you see the Sullikattil structure like that. And do we understand? So I'm going to ask Bhargavi once again, and all of you are welcome to also share about what you're seeing on the screen. The second part, where I've written down the numbers, can you explain to us what we're doing over there?
Like that. The jump is 4, and 4 is written plus a comma, right? Am I right?
Correct. Absolutely. So that is the first 3 lines, very rightly pointed out. And what about the last line? 5. How have I written the 5?
I don't know. Yeah. G is Gina. So Takka, Dikku, Takka, yeah. Takka is 1, Dikku is 1, Tadin is 1, and Ginatom is the 2 counts, and you mentioned the G.
Faster pace. Takka is 1, Dikku is 1, Tadin is 1, and Ginatom together is 2 counts. For the Diddite, Tirmanada. Okay, one possible statement. Very, very nice. So now, going on to the next slide, what we have in the next, what are we seeing over here? What have I marked? This is the first sequence, okay? That I'll tell you. The first sequence of the 4 way, right? In the Takka, Dini, Takka, Takita that we've done. So what is happening now? What is the difference between this and the previous one?
Yeah, the first 2 columns are the same, not the third one. And the last is also the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
What did we do in the sequence? Coming here in the third row, what have we written? Look at the numbers. 3, 3, comma 2. What did we do in the Korve? Can you recall what we did in the first sequence of the Korve? 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1 gap, 1 gap, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. What did we do? Did pause and 2 counts. Okay. Now, what is important though is why have I written the Solikata also along with that? Okay. And I'm going to say what is there Solikata. Okay. All of you can attend tam, tam, ta, ka, ka, jam, deen, ta.
Tam. Yeah. Tam is the first count, like the jump. And the next step is the second.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the same thing for the first and the third. The second, of course, we did directly like that, right? Along. Okay. 1, 2, 3, tam, 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 deem, ta, chum, tom, ta, okay. And moving on to the last slide, which is the third sequence. Yeah. How many? Then the third one onwards. So shall we try saying this? This is going to be the last thing that we do. Yeah. Let's start. So you try and say it along. And I'm going to do the other on the talam. So I want to listen to that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, start. Tam, tam, ta, ta, chum. Deem, ta, ta, chum, tom, ta, chum, ta. Okay, so you see how the sound of the same soliloquy changes, creating so much of variety within the same. Okay, so remember, everybody, these slides are going to be available to you on the video, the YouTube link. So you can always come back to it, spend more time looking at it to understand it in more detail. Okay, but now, having understood the rhythmic section of the last 4 ways, the very variation or creativity in the rhythmic construction. Okay? Embodiment of bhava and rasa. Bhava is the emotion that brings out of the performer emotional experience that the audience feels. So the blend of this bhava rasa, she is the very embodiment of Jagadeka Mohanaka. In all of the universe, we're going to see how it can come together with the 3 core ways that we have created. Shall we do that? And if there are any more questions, which I see some of them, Slokam along with me, because we already know the hands today, we're going to do it standing. Okay. start a position called the Anjali Krita. Okay, and from here we start. Okay, and we do that first line, 2 writing, 1 more. Okay, so quick revision of what we had done yesterday already, but the interesting inclusion now is going to be when we say Hridayaka Mohanatale, the arts which are the most enchanting of all, the most charming of all, at that point is where we're going to introduce our first chorus. Okay, that is very big. So we're going to show off our arts to the audience to whom we are. Okay, so I'm going to now ask Bhargavi to do the last one from Jagadeka Mohanatale. From here, okay, Jagadeka, the foremost of all, the enchanting art in all the world. It's the greatest, the best. Our art form. We do a small movement there to represent the movement of our art. And Jagadeka Mohana. You remember this hasta we used on the first day. Beautiful. Kale and Takita, we can start the first word like that. Shall we do that? Bhargavi, can I ask you to do it to demonstrate how this looks? Okay, we're starting from Jagadeka Mohanatale. Get up slowly from the Murvandi position. And we go to the beginning position of the next chord wave. on the Chatushree. Okay, so shall we start from the Jagadeka of the third Purve once again? From Murumatti. Jagadeka. Come to Samapada. Come to Samapada. Jagadeka, Samapada. We missed the part. Second sequence. Start again. Start the second sequence again. 1, 2, 3. Start. Down. 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 Shall we do that? Yeah. So from Murumatti onwards, Jagadeka. Jagadeka. And with that, we finish by doing a whole namaskaram to the Rangadeva. Okay? Excellent. So now we have a little shloka along with some purves interwoven into it as a complete Rangadevata stuti that you can practice. Okay? Very nice. So let's go right into questions for today. Thank you, Bhargavi. Relax for the moment. There are any more questions over here, which I'm quickly going to look at. But I also remember I promised to get back on a couple of questions that some of you had asked in the last 2 days. One of them being that the difference between the Tanjavur and the Varur style and whether there was a difference. And remember, I told you that in my understanding, Tanjavur is the parent Vani, the parent style, and everything else, Varur, this is the case. Okay, so today it would not make sense really to refer to something as Tanjavur and something else as Varur because Tanjavur has branched out into these different courses. Alright? And the other question was from, I'm really sorry, I forget the name of the person who asked, but about the Hasta, the text that can be used for Hastas. So I have referred this to one of the very senior dance scholars in India today, Shri S. Jayachandran, and he has given us some suggestions of text. So apart from, of course, the Natya Shastra and the Agni Darpana, which would be the immediate go-to, you also have the Sangeeta Ratnakara, okay, which is a Sanskrit text, Nritta Ratnavali, a text written for dance codification, similar to the Agni Darpana, that is another one. And there is also a text called the Shri Hasta Muktavali. Okay, so these are texts that you can look up. And like I said, in Tamil, you have much older texts similar to the Natya Shastra. There are a couple of texts that are called the Kootanul and Panchamarabu, which are both traditional texts written in Tamil for the dance form specifically. So they do have more detailed information on Hastas. And also a text called the Mahabharata Chudamani. These are 3 texts in Tamil, which I'm sure these should have translations in English available somewhere or the other, okay, that you can refer to for us. So those are two things that I wanted to address. And let's see if we have any questions. What is the difference between Tode Mangalam and Pushpanjali? Sandhya asks. So Sandhya, it is mainly in the, they're two different genres, so kinds of repertoire pieces. It is mainly in the construction of the music, okay, that the difference will be there. And therefore, of course, in the construction of the dance. Pushpanjali usually do not have any lyrics. Okay, they have simple solikatas like Namdi, Tomnam, Tari, Tajam, very simple solikate. There is one Pallavi line, only one line, which is repeated many, many times. And usually it might take a small Anupallavi line. So it doesn't have a very complex musical structure. One refrain being repeated again and again. Okay, and no narrative element at all. And the idea of a Pushpanjali is exactly that, right? It is the offering of the pushpa, offering of the flowers. So it is usually commenced in a dance with bringing in the flowers in your hands. The Tode Mangalam, on the other hand, there are very specific few Tode Mangalams that have been composed so far. They also have a lyrical element. So usually what happens is there is a interspersed with smaller jatis, or smaller rhythmic elements, and you have a lyrical element which is usually directly in praise of a deity. Okay? So both of these are, of course, invocatory pieces. Both of them are pieces you do at the very beginning of concerts. If I am not wrong, the Tode Mangalam is basically creating a very shubha or an auspicious start to your concert. Okay? Anvesha asks, why is an Alaripu with 7 beats tougher than the one with 3 beats? That's because you can create much more possibilities, right, Anvesha, with 7 counts, because the moment your counts becomes larger, you can fill it up in many, many different combinations. No, I can do 1 plus 6, 2 plus 5, 3 plus 4, and reverse all of these combinations. Whereas for 3, how many combinations can you ultimately make? Not that many, right? So which is why as you go from 3 to 5 to 7 to 9, the complexity always increases. Okay, and that's also the reason why the Tishra Alaripu is the first one that is taught to you, because that's the simplest. And then we go up in the level of complication. Okay, so please refer to that going back. That should still be available to you on the video link, right, going forward. Tushin asks, please repeat the sequence you formulated for the Rangadevata Stuti, as that was lost due to some internet connection. All right, Tushin, I would love to do that, except for I have to keep cognizance of time. I'm going to try and do this if we have time, okay? But in the meantime, Alakrita, can you suggest whether the video that comes up, that stays on the link later on, is that going to have problems, or do you think that will be a smoother video?
The problem that was caused due to the network interruption, are you saying that? Yes, ma'am, the problem will be there afterwards also.
Okay, so will it be all right today if we take those extra maybe 2 minutes for me to repeat the Rangadevata? Yeah, I'll do try just in a bit after I answer the other question. What is Anjali? Sudeep asks, what is Anjali? The word Anjali means offering, Sudeep, and in dance, it is a particular word used to refer to this hasta. Okay, what is the namaste normally, right? We call it the Anjali hasta in Bharatanatyam. And the meaning, of course, is offering something, right? But you use it in Abhinaya to show, bowing down to somebody, or it is also the beginning of any piece. We start any piece by starting with our Anjali. Okay. Bhavya is asking me at what age you started doing Bharatanatyam. I started doing Bharatanatyam when I was 5 years. Bhavya, that's when I started learning. Any other questions? I'm just going to scroll up. Rhythm in free flow. Okay, so that can be called either as a shlokam, a virittam. These are the names for the free flow format where there is no rhythmic structure, and we have interspersed it with rhythmic korvais in Aditala. Okay, so this is not a Jatishwara. Okay, because when you say Shringara Rasa, it doesn't mean that there is just in the Shringara Rasa, what is the conversation happening between the characters, between the lovers, right? So the possibilities are limitless. So, for instance, if it is a girl preparing herself, getting ready, dressing up, waiting for her lover, then you can use umpteen number of hastas, right? So, depending upon what is it that you are doing, right? Getting ready, you can string flowers, wear the flowers, so on and so forth. So, there is no limitation to the hastas that you can use. I think that is very much dependent on context. But if you are asking particularly about the hasta that denotes love itself, we use this hasta, okay, to denote love near the heart. This is used to show love from my heart to your something, emotion that is towards you. Okay, these are few hastas that we use to show love. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much most of the questions. Okay, and we have a question from Chinmaya who asks, did learning about astronomy help you with Bharatanatyam? The use of space, for example. So that's a very interesting question. Thanks, Chinmaya. So I would say my education as a scientist, as an astronomer, has definitely helped in how I approach many things in my life itself, not just dance. I would not say in any direct way it impacts the way I dance, but definitely it gives me a more structured, a readily structured way of thinking, a more readily mathematical way of thinking, okay, which is perhaps a lot more concrete than abstract, if that makes sense. See, dancers also have a very, very keen understanding of math, of combinations, of patterns. But when I learned it through dance, I learned it visually and I learned it in a more abstract sense. But in science, I did it in a more concrete, analytical way. So I think for me, what has helped is being able to put these two things together. So just as an example, the presentations that all of you saw today, right, with the being able to write down things, break it down into parts, into visual patterns. I think the impulse to do this for me comes as with my training as a scientist. To be able to put everything down in pattern, in numbers, is something that I find very helpful. So I think, yes, it's my general approach, a logical, sequential approach to whether it is dance, construction of dance, or any projects also connected with that. So I think that's the main way in which it has influenced me. Apart from that, it's also the general training, right? I think dance and science can really be very interesting parallel faculties, training different parts of your mind. One is training the technical, the robust side. The other one is training the embodied understanding as well as the intuitive understanding, if I may say so. So, to be honest, both feed into the other, not just one way around. So, that's a very interesting question. Thank you. Sandhya, of course, same question. How do you connect astrophysics with Bharatanatyam? That would be my answer, Sandhya. So I'm glad that was a question perhaps generally in many of your minds, and that was answered. Sudeep asks, how many Hasta Mudras are there? Sudeep, you know what? I'm very bad with numbers. You just ask me suddenly like that. I know that I can remember and tell you that there are 26 single hand gestures referenced in the Abhinaya Darpana today, okay? Which is what we commonly study as Padaka, Tripataka, Katharika, so on. The sequence that we study today comes from the Abhinaya Darpana. But if you go through any of the other texts that I mentioned earlier, the range of the hastas available to us is plenty. The beauty of it is that hastas have always evolved through the history of our dance form. They are meant to evolve. So a scholar pointed out to me recently while we were having a discussion that one of the Tamil texts, in fact, which were written, sometime around the 17th, 18th century, actually has hastas for gun. Okay, for a gun. How do you show a gun in Bharatanatyam? So of course, this could not have been from 2000 years back, right? They did not have guns then. So it's a very clear evidence that there are rules available to us, grammatical prescriptions available to us, from which in spirit we can develop hastas for any new concept today, any new object today, right? So technically going forward, we should be able to create hastas for, whether it's a laptop or it's a car, or whether it is ideas like democracy, for instance, or ahimsa, right? We should be able to do this. But the thing to note is that the hastas always try to capture the core spirit of something and not the external imitation. Okay? So we don't want to rush and say, oh no, I can do a hasta for laptop, so I'm going to do this, I'm going to do cell phone. No. We need to really try to understand the methodology in which hastas are created, and then try to employ that method in creation of new hastas. So as such, if you ask me for a number, once again, infinite limit, right? But if you are referring to a particular text, Abhinay Darpana gives us 26 single hand gestures, and I honestly cannot remember. We also have a set of double hand gestures, and I have to count through them to remember how many there are. But that is a subset that we can easily start with and learn. Okay. In my view, Sandhya asks, what is the most important aspect for a student to adapt in a Guru Sishya Parampara? Sandhya, I think this is a very valuable question. There are many things, I would say. The top priority or the top thing for me from the student point of view, I'm going to speak now from a student point of view, is to have a complete openness to your teaching. Okay, this is very important. We are living in a world where, everything is fast, quick, everything, we're being very selective, very picky and choosy about every single thing that we want. But learning of art is a very, very long-term process. It is an immersive process. And it is not as daunting as it sounds if we just allow ourselves to be in the moment and to be completely open to receive. Okay? Receiving, I think, with both your hands out is a very, very important idea that allows you to really absorb the maximum from what your guru is giving you. Because your guru is always decades ahead of you, right? In experience and wisdom in what they have seen and what their understanding of art is. So they might always be giving you this much. But for you to be able to even grasp a percentage of it at any given point of time, it is important to go into every class with an absolutely open mind, to listen first before you speak, before you question, before you doubt. Healthy questioning is always a great thing. That is not something that I discourage at all. But listen first. Allow that class to be the opportunity to take in as much that your teacher gives you. Because the thing about learning art is that it's not like in science, again, it is linear. You have to understand concept 1 for concept 2 to make sense. But the learning of art is not linear. Things that my guru has said to me 10 years back, sometimes when I'm practicing now, suddenly flashes in my head and I say, oh my God, this is what she was always telling me. But it did not make sense to me then because I was too young and immature to understand it back then, right? So take the information, keep it, everything needs to be kept somewhere so that it can resurface and rechurn at a later time, right? And the other thing is to allow time in this relationship, allow trust. Unshakable, unmitigated trust is something that is very important also that we need to start with. And long term, it's like a marriage, right? You have to give it time, you have to trust, you have to work on that relationship, and nothing is going to happen as a miracle. If you go to a teacher and say, can I do Arangetram in 1 year? Or I want to do that performance. You cannot go to a guru with a prescriptive formula at all. So you need to give the relationship and the learning process a lot of time. That is the basic thing that I would say. I know I've exceeded time a little bit already, Alankritha. Can you advise me on whether we have another quick 5 minutes for me to show the stuti to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Just 5 minutes will be fine.
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to finish.
Yeah.
Okay, I do it. I'm not going to give you any instructions. Let's go. Thank you all very, very much. It's been a great pleasure spending the last 5 days with all of you and talking about dance and having a very, very beautiful interactive. I hope you found the last 5 days fun and informative and you were able to learn something from that. And I'd really like to convey my gratitude and thanks to SPIC MACAY for making me a part of this very beautiful Anubhav annual convention. It's great to be a little part in this grand journey and vision of SPIC MACAY. Thank you very much. Thank you, Alankritha. I'd like to also thank my student, Bhargavi Gopalan, who's been very patiently with me over the past 5 days. Thank you, Bhargavi. And thank Alankritha for being very helpful with organizing which content. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. A very big thank you on behalf of